1855, Florence, Kentucky. Sheep graze on the open fields that provide the foundation for 4 brick walls. The very first, Florence Baptist Church. Years later, other livestock provided the church with another source of income, which fueled ministry and developed into a movement that has outgrown the hills of Kentucky. Started by 11 men and women who felt a calling to create change, Florence Baptist Church began in 1855 on the corner of US 25 and Main Street. In 25 years, those 11 members grew to 48, and in 1884, Sunday school was organized for the first time. By 1890, the membership had grown to 90, but 9 years later, the church closed its doors. Then, a revival happened. In 1930, a new brick building was opened for worship. In 1948, one of our first missionaries was launched. Gene Bach was given an Argus 3-steed camera and $700 to be a missionary for 3 years in Nigeria. In 1958, average Sunday school attendance went from 200 to 400. July 24th, 1960 was the groundbreaking for the Greenview Chapel, Florence Baptist's first experience at church planting. In 1967, a new worship center was constructed to hold over 1,000 people. A media ministry via cassette tapes started in 1970. A bus ministry to reach young people was started in 1973. In 1995, ground broke for the Christian Life Center that would go on to serve young and old, providing a space for the community to enjoy and grow together. On December 19, 1999, the deacons recommended the purchase of a 67-acre property for relocation. The vote was overwhelmingly in favor of the move. In 2009, the Mount Zion property was completed, and on March 8th, we held our first service in our current building. In 2016, we launched our second location now, the Church at Hebron. In recent years, we've cast a fresh vision for the church, clarifying our mission and aligning ourselves more with the Great Commission. We've started new mission partnerships, strengthening what we're doing with local outreach at Hope Ministries, caring for foster kids through the Forgotten Initiative, and ministering to local schools. We've helped plant churches in the region. We relaunched our second campus, sent hundreds on international mission experiences, and have seen hundreds of people trust in Christ and be baptized. God didn't save us just to sit and sing. We're a group with a mission. 2 years ago, our team began asking ourselves a few questions. What would it look like for us to have double impact in the next 5 years and beyond? How do we increasingly become a place for people to come to for help? And how can we continue to be a gift to our community? After talking with community leaders, consulting firms, commercial realtors, and financial advisors, we found 6 challenges we want to tackle in the coming years. First, the Church at Hebron is in need of more parking and an outdoor kids space so we can reach more families. Second, Hope Ministries has needed more space for several years. Functioning out of homes that were built in the 60s, there's just simply not enough storage or space to provide the right care for our growing community. Third, we don't have enough space for our kids ministry to continue to grow. Though we built a larger worship space when we moved at the time, we couldn't afford to build commensurate space for preschool, kids, and students. Fourth, there are not enough options for childcare in our area. 10,000 kids 4 years old and under live in a 10-minute drive to 642 Mount Zion Road, and that number goes to 12,700 if you include 5-year-olds. Fifth, we need to help the community relationally connect. People aren't simply looking for a friendly church, they're actually looking for friends. 1 in 3 Americans claim to be lonely at least once a week, and it's still considered an epidemic in our country. And finally, Gen Z was retreating from the church, has now stabilized, and is experiencing a revival to some degree. Right now is the greatest time to capitalize on the younger generations, and we want to be the change. So, we have a vision, and the vision is big. We believe that we're strategically placed to address some of our own issues while also being a good resource to the community.
Today, almost a year later, that vision isn't just something we've talked about, it's something we've already begun. Because of your generosity, plans have become blueprints, blueprints have become permits, and now dirt is beginning to turn. We still have work ahead of us, but it's exciting to see that what once felt like a distant dream is now becoming a visible reality. First, Hope Ministries now has a new space designed to better serve families throughout northern Kentucky. What was once spread across aging homes with limited space is now positioned to care for more people more effectively and for years to come. Second, We already have the designs for the outdoor kids play space and additional parking at the church at Hebron that will create more room for families to experience Jesus and grow together. We've just received our latest permits, and now we're waiting on our final review and scheduling with the construction company. Third, we're already making room for the next generation. Student small groups are growing, and we've just experienced our largest student camp ever. Our new parking areas will be finished soon, and construction is underway on our student worship space and gym. These facilities will become the home for hundreds of students each week, where they gather, worship, build relationships, and invite their friends. The gym will help us create opportunities for recreation, community events, and meaningful connections throughout Northern Kentucky. In our next phase, we will renovate and expand the kids' ministry environments. One of the clearest indicators of a healthy, growing church is a growing children's ministry, and God continues to bring more young families to our church. By adding more square footage at our Mount Zion location, we'll create space for thousands of future gospel conversations. In the following phase, we'll transform the front entrance of our campus into a welcoming community gathering space that includes meeting areas, co-working space, an indoor kids play area, and room for relationships to flourish throughout the week. Then, we'll build an event center that can host weddings, conferences, banquets, and community events, while also including transitional cottages to serve foster children. Finally, we'll continue developing our Mount Zion campus with outdoor recreation areas, a covered pavilion, and walking trails that invite our community onto our property every day of the week. A year ago, we committed ourselves to this first phase of the vision. God has already done so much through your faithfulness, but there's still work left to accomplish. The vision hasn't changed, our mission hasn't changed, and now it's time to finish what we began together. When we launched For the One last year, we set two goals. First, we prayed that 100% of every person who calls Florence Baptist or the church at Hebron home would participate in some way. Second, we asked God to provide $18.7 million over 2 years. That amount includes every dollar given to support our weekly ministry as well as this first phase of future expansion. Based upon commitments and our current giving trends, we project to receive $15.2 million by the end of the initiative. That's a tremendous testimony to God's faithfulness and to your generosity, but it also reminds us that there's still room for every one of us to help close the gap. As we shared from the beginning, every gift supports the ongoing ministry of our church at both locations while also funding this first phase of our vision. Every week, those gifts are funding ministry, changing lives, supporting missions, caring for people in need, and now helping move this first phase of construction forward. We have also remained committed to being wise stewards of every dollar entrusted to us. From the beginning, our desire has been to complete this first phase without taking on long-term debt. At our current pace, we won't be in that position. That is why this final year matters so much. We will continue to move forward responsibly, trust God for His provision, and remain committed to sound financial stewardship. But we're not finished yet. We still have 1 year remaining, and we believe God can accomplish through us everything He has placed before us. So, over these next 12 months, our goals remain exactly the same: 100% participation and $18.7 million given by September of 2027. So what do we do now? Maybe you faithfully continue your original commitment, and if so, thank you so much. Your faithfulness is already making a difference, so keep going. But it could be that God's blessed you this past year and He's leading you to expand your commitment, and I would encourage you to pray about taking that next step. It's also possible that last year wasn't the right season for you. If you weren't ready then, today is a new opportunity to join what God is doing. I'm convinced every one of us can take a next step. Together, we can finish what God has started among us. In Luke 15, Jesus shows us the heart of God towards people far from Him as the shepherd leaves the 99 to pursue the one. Join us as we finish what we've started together. Let's continue multiplying gospel impact, fulfilling God's mission for His church, and leaving the 99 to pursue the one.